Escape global music. What are you escaping from?
Elm City, stupid.
What up, what up? It's your guy. D to the A to the R to the N. Bars. And you're back with another episode of The Bars Report. That's right, my friends. The Bars Report. And today, we got a special guest. A man who needs no introduction. But we're going to give him one anyway. We're talking about Mikey T, the movie star.
Yo, Darin Bars, man. I appreciate you having me on the show today, man.
Always, brother.
It's always good to come and chop it up with my bro out in Elm City, New Haven, Connecticut. You know, that's where we represent. So it's great to be on the show today, man. As I said, the Bars Report. All of my subscribers need to come on over here and subscribe to Darin Bars' new YouTube channel. What are we talking about today, man?
And today, we're going to be talking about Bobby Schmurda. 10 people? 10 tickets?
Bobby?
All this and more today on The Bars Report. So, yo, Mikey T, man, so I'm scrolling down the timeline. You know what I'm saying? I just want to get your opinion on this thing, man. So apparently, Bobby Schmurda was only selling 10 tickets per state.
Well, I don't believe that number, first of all. 10 tickets for Bobby Schmurda? I don't believe that number whatsoever, but they are saying the ticket sales were low. Bobby actually came out with a statement as well, but I'm just going to say overall, I do not think that Bobby Schmurda was only selling 10 tickets, man. That seems like a complete lie to me. But the sales, the tickets could have been low, which led to the cancellation of the show, you know?
I mean, I look at it like this, man. Bobby Schmurda had a hit. He had a dope hit, but it was almost like 10 years. Hot Boy,
yeah. Before he went to jail, he had a hit. And he had Bobby Bitch, which came out right after that, which was semi-hit. Not really that big, but it pushed the EP that he dropped at that time, right? Didn't he drop? What did he drop? An EP or an album with?
I think it was an EP.
Yeah, I think it was an EP
Pretty
that
sure
came
EP,
along
yeah.
with Bobby Bitch, and they both underperformed. Just like this tour that we're talking about.
Yep. See, I think some people can do it. Like, Jesus just came to Connecticut, and he almost sold it out from what I was hearing, and I seen the footage, and I seen all that. So I think it kind of depends on if an artist has a catalog, you know what I mean?
Right.
Especially a standalone artist, you know what I mean? Like, to be able to do it on his own and by himself. And why is Bobby on his own and by himself? Like, Roddy Rebel, GS9, you know what I mean? Like, he was even collaborating with the Migos. I mean, if Bobby couldn't do it by himself, don't you think Bobby could have did it if he would have collaborated with other people?
Well, that's an interesting take. When Bobby first came home, he got picked up by a jet, by Quavo, right? Quavo came with the jet, so it was one of the biggest receptions to someone coming home in jail. You know, Max B is going to be coming home soon. I wonder if someone's going to be coming to pick him up in a jet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
DMX came home. They say Rick Ross came to get him in a limousine. You know what I'm saying? There's a big difference between Quavo coming with the jet to get Bobby Schmurda, and then they did the single. You know, they did the whole single where it was it was like the Schmigo gang had reunited. It was Rowdy Rebel, Quavo, and Bobby Schmurda, and I just thought at that point in time that they were going to come together as a group.
You would have thought so. I mean, that would have been lit, man. I don't know what's going on out here. I think like something like that, like a collective, that would have sold numbers. That would have put, what they say, ass in seats.
Well, yeah, that goes back to what you were saying about Young Jeezy. The reason that he's going to sell out in Hartford or Phoenix, Arizona, or anywhere in California is because he has that catalog. Whereas, the fans have been on his side for like almost a decade strong at any point in time where he was able to sell units, from Thug Motivation 101 to the Recession album. But he really built a fan base, whereas Bobby Schmurda, he had a viral hit, He had a viral song, and then he followed it up with what I said, an underperforming secondary single. So he really doesn't have that base that a Young Jeezy has or a T.I. has, any of these guys who have released big catalogs. Now, getting with the Migos could have given them more of a base, more of a catalog to stand on. His EP ended up going gold. Bobby Bitch ended up going gold, but gold in comparison to what he did with Hot Boy is a very small statement to make. That was like his Panda, Designer, and Designer never came close to having a hit like Panda. Maybe he did 1 million here and there, but it was never 10 million like Panda again.
That's a great example. That is a great example. I was gonna ask you, like, who was somebody else that had like that one powerful hit, caught that viral moment, but could not capitalize off of it? Like, you don't hear about him no more.
Another guy would be Chief Keef. Chief Keef was major with I Don't Like, and then he even followed it up with Love Sosa. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they were ready to crown Chief Keef as the king.
Yeah.
With Love Sosa, but that record, I mean, it did have some lasting ability, but it really didn't put Chief Keef to the point where he is, still a major artist today. Like how Young Jeezy and T.I., these guys were selling albums for like 5-6 albums. Chief Keef had his one Interscope album, and then Chief Keef actually, he went independent after that for the Bang 3 album, I believe, which did not sell nearly what Finally Rich sold in its first week.
No, when Interscope was behind him, that move was incredible. You know what I mean? Like that. But I can understand from his perspective why he, like, from what I remember, they said that he wanted to go independent after that. Like, all the people who he signed with wasn't there no more. Like, Jimmy was stepping down. 50 was stepping away from Interscope. Like the main reasons why he wanted to sign with them. But as an artist like that, you figure if I could go independent, if I can get out of my deal, you know what I mean, I could maintain that same momentum that I had when the machine was behind me, or when, you know what I mean, when the label was behind me, when the bag was behind me. That doesn't always work out like that.
Well, I mean, honestly, from my perspective, it looked like Chief Keef wanted the bag behind him to go and blow all that money. You know what I mean? To go in the malls and buy the malls out.
Finito.
You know what I'm saying? He really loved like blowing money like that. You would see him pulling up in California with just a handful of $100 bills ready to go. And I had read that Interscope had an option to get out of the deal if Chief Keef didn't sell a certain amount of units. So I wanted to ask you, do you think Interscope regrets investing in Chief Keef back then?
I know it didn't turn out the way that they wanted to. So from a money standpoint, probably not. He didn't show up for music video shoots.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
He skipped out on the major 50 Cent and Wiz Khalifa music video for
Hate Being Sober.
Why? How much do you think that would have impacted Chief Keef's career? Would it have made him much bigger if he had that video shot?
Maybe, because I think maybe the label would have continued to put money into him. You know what I mean? Like, he's a trustworthy artist. You know what I'm saying? He's worth the investment. He's not going to be a problem. Like, because when they sit down and sign the deal, they're going to say, look, we don't want it to be a problem. You know what I mean? Like, this was, your new life now, this time and third, you got to stay out of trouble. You know what I mean? And they all say, okay, yeah, no problem, stay out of trouble. But
would that record have been nearly as big as Love Sosa or I Don't Like? I won't lie. When you hear people listening to Chief Keef, it's usually Finito or it's Hate Being Sober. When I hear people pulling up to Chief Keef, it is Hate Being Sober.
Oh, wow.
Because, I mean, I Don't Like is played out and Love Sosa is a little bit soft. So,
wow.
Yeah, so that's what I've noticed, actually, when seeing people pull up to Chief Keef. But do you think Hate Being Sober would have been as big as Love Sosa?
Had he stuck with it, maybe not. I think it would have did exactly what it did, whether he was in the video or not, because they still put the money behind it. That was still the single. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, it didn't end up doing nothing. If it had 50 Cent in the video with it.
That's true. But I think the follow-up, Interscope still would have had his back. So he might have had another hit after that.
Yeah, because 50 Cent was backing him pretty hardcore, even though Chief Keef would go on in interviews and actually disrespect 50 a little bit. And he was like, that's not my mentor, because everybody kind of just assumed that 50 was Chief Keef's mentor just because 50 said a couple nice things about Chief Keef, which is like, it's very green for people to assume that, like, oh, not every rapper is going to be like Soulja Boy. Soulja Boy was just so ready for 50 Cent to come in and play Poppy. You know what I'm saying? Like, to be his bigger figure. Chief Keef just wanted to be rich. You know what I mean?
That's true.
He didn't want to go out there and fake it, about somebody being his mentor.
That is true.
Maybe that's the word.
Yeah, no, I give you that. I give you that.
But yeah, so that's what I got to say about that. Did we get off topic there a little bit? What were we talking about?
I mean, that's what we do here today on the Bars Report.
That's right. That's right.
Because it's the Bars Report. That's right, my friends, the Bars Report. But let us know what you guys think in the comments, man. Do you think Bobby Schmurda's, that's what it was. Do you think Bobby Shmurda played his situation right? Do you think the marketing was wrong? Do you think the label was wrong? Who do you think is the blame for the low ticket sales? Yeah. Or do you think his single is stagnant and his time has passed and he needed some new material to come out to tour with? Or do you think he should have got a collective going, got up with the GS9, with the Rowdy Rebels, and teamed up with the Migos? Let us know in the comments, man.
Yeah, also about that whole situation with Bobby Schmurda, he had said, like, I just linked up with the wrong people. Because, Bobby's getting out of jail a few years ago, and everybody's giving him these big endorsements, you know what I mean? Whether it's a marijuana endorsement, whether it's for them to do a plug for any type of different product, they're getting Bobby Schmurda to do that, which has gotten him basically off of the music. And now he linked up with a couple people that are doing a tour for him, and it's just not going out the right way. You know what I'm saying? Bobby's been out of jail for not too long now. He's got to really link up with the right people when it comes to setting up his music. Now you could say, like, yo, he's been out of jail for quite some time. You know what I mean? Because he really should have had an album out and everything by now. You know what I mean? But that's what he was saying. He locked in with the wrong people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, maybe you could go over that in a future episode, man, if you decide to cover this anymore, man. But shout out to Bobby Schmurda. He's always laughing. He's always having a good time. I never got the opportunity to meet Bobby Schmurda yet, actually. But salute to him and Rowdy Rebel, man.
Yeah, big fans over here. Big fans of them, man. Big fans. I would have bought a ticket. Definitely, had I known about the tour, I would go out and see Bobby. I never seen Bobby perform live.
That's what I'm saying, man. I don't think it was 10 tickets sold. That sounds a little bit ridiculous to me, but that's probably not the real number. Maybe even if it sold 150 tickets, they would, or if it sold 1,000 tickets, they're trying to sell more tickets than that, man. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? These guys are starting to sell thousands of tickets because, I assume Bobby Schmurda is charging like $20,000 to $50,000 per show, man. Maybe more. These artists are charging a bag nowadays.
Yeah, get them to come out. I mean, this is how they survive. It's definitely not through. I mean, what are they doing it for, man? Because they're definitely not getting it through music sales. You know what I'm saying?
It's all about the live performance nowadays. We're getting paid $50,000 and $60,000, but you gotta have that catalog to support it. It reminds me of when our guy Schmurda actually brought Post Malone out here. Post Malone was like the hottest thing on the streets when White Iverson hit. And he actually had the other record, what was Trouble or something like that. And then he had another record called What's Up. And those were the only 3 records he had, but he was running around performing those records. And it was dope. You know what I mean? And
off of SoundCloud.
Off of SoundCloud, off of a World Star video. Mm-hmm. But he just went up from, $15,000 performances all the way up to probably getting paid millions of dollars now. And it was crazy how we were actually part of the Post Malone performance, but nowadays, man, you need to have more to your show game, or you need to have the record of the moment. And Bobby Hot Boy isn't the record of the moment right now.
Yeah, the times came and passed.
So it's not going to work like that. But at that point, White Iverson was the record. He performed it twice that night. You know what I'm saying? So he's a cool dude too, man. I got a drop from him. I don't know if you probably remember. It's been all over the internet. Yeah. But I got a drop from him. I was kind of wondering that night, like, why is Post Malone drinking Bud Light? Like, why is he not pop? This is my first time meeting him. I was like, why is he not popping champagne? Salute to our guy Schmurda, man. He be doing this thing in Connecticut.
Yeah, shout out Schmurda, man. Those are some good nights at Lotus.
Yep.
Good times. A lot of live shows. Again with the live shows.
Yeah, man. We were the first to bring King Von out to Connecticut.
Man.
King Von was so crazy at his performance with Lil Durk the crowd was so lit for King Von. Everybody in the crowd. I was there filming King Von and Little Durk right in front of their faces. You know what I mean? And the whole crowd was just saying King Von's lyrics, and I was like, you got to be kidding me, because at this point in time, King Von is a new artist, and they just all knew his lyrics. It was really one of the craziest things I ever saw live.
Hip hop, man. Hip hop. You know, sometimes like even like I might like a certain artist, you know what I'm saying? Like I might like their songs on the radio, but you really fall in love with them like mostly, you know, how you get it how you live it, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes you read about them, but sometimes you see them in music videos, but them live shows is what makes you a fan, real fan. Like even with D12, I always, you know, that story. You know, I seen D12 live. I went because I thought Eminem was gonna be there. Eminem wasn't there because he was filming 8 Mile. But I was like, whatever. I already bought the tickets.
Was that Toad's Place?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, Eminem skipped out on Toad's Place.
Mm-hmm.
That's
film 8
crazy.
Mile.
Oh, to film 8 Mile. Okay, he was
Mhm.
actually like, you know, they were shutting down TRL for him back from the day. You know what I'm saying? They had to like shut the curtains in for him. But Eminem no showed. He didn't do. He probably wasn't contractually obligated, but he didn't do Toad's Place. He didn't do the epic Toad's Place. Are you serious right now?
The legendary.
On the Bars Report, we're going over this, and we might have to do a little bit of research on this one. If Eminem had ever performed at Toad's Place, I know you performed there a lot, you know what I mean? But that's just crazy to me, and this is no diss at Eminem, you know what I mean? I'm an Eminem guy, you know what I'm saying? But wow, I can't believe he didn't come to Toad's Place, the legendary hip hop spot in Connecticut. Is there a more legendary spot for hip hop in Connecticut than that?
It would have been the New Haven Coliseum, but they knocked it down.
Okay.
So yeah, definitely be Toad's Place. But Bubba Sparks did show up, so we did get a white MC to kill the mic at the same time.
Bubba Sparks showed up with D12.
Came out of nowhere doing ugly. Because remember, Bizarre was in that video with Bubba Sparks in the ugly video.
Damn, I can't remember that off the top of my head, but that's actually crazy.
Don't worry about it. I'll put it right here.
That's crazy. But yeah, it's insane that Bubba Sparks actually came out with D12. Yeah, I mean, I saw Tyga for the first time. Yeah, performing before D Block.
Yeah, that was oof.
Oh man, that was bad. They were throwing stuff at Tyga.
Oof. Yeah.
They were throwing stuff at Tyga when he was performing the Lime and the Coconut. This was prior to Cash Money though, but he was building a buzz to the point where he could do shows like that. But that just probably wasn't the best show to do. I mean, a lot of times, man, opening for certain people, like I've seen people flop. You know, in front of DMX. You don't want to open for DMX, man.
Look, man.
I'm just letting you know, you don't want to open for DMX. Don't open for, I seen, it was actually this female artist opening for DMX. It's like, no.
Oh, man, it's bad.
No, what are you doing? I believe this was somebody that Rico Love actually brought out. And it was in Fort Lauderdale. I want to say it was at Revolution before DMX performed. And he brought out this female, and she's gorgeous. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it's a good look, but just the wrong crowd. Full crowd, but that's a rowdy crowd to be bringing a female MC out there in front of, and they just tore her up, man. And even my guy Berserk, who was performing with another guy at that point, he was a part of a group. They even got torn up opening for DMX, man.
Damn. Yeah,
it could be a crazy scene opening up for X. Bro, X even called me a Fed.
Wait, what?
DMX called me a Fed. Bars. Bars Report exclusive. DMX called me a Fed at Revolution right after he hit my sour diesel weed.
What are we doing? What?
X was performing, I was filming, and DMX was like, sour, I smell that sour. Sour diesel. Smells like sour diesel. So he walked over to me. I'm like, yeah, I got the sour diesel, X. I'm like, hit it, here you go. Which maybe I shouldn't have did that. Man was probably on parole at the point. Oh,
on camera.
man.
On camera.
Yep. So then I'm filming X as he's hitting the weed. He's like, "What are you filming me for? You're fat." I'm like, "No."
Dang.
I'm like, "No." DMX just called me a fat man. Nah, X, I just let you hit the weed.
Dang.
Yeah, crazy story, man.
That is wild.
Crazy story. Rest in peace to DMX, man.
Rest in peace, man. Rest in peace. That is that's a wild story, bro.
Yeah, man. That was a great story to have with DMX actually sharing a sour diesel blunt. I want to say he gave it back to me.
He was generous like that. I seen him at a show one time. He passed the Hennessy bottle all the way across the stage. Like everybody that was in like the front couple rows, he'd be like, "Okay, you take a sip. All right, pass it. You take a sip. All right, pass it. Take it. No, pass it. Pass it. Pass it." And then at the end, it'd be like this much left, and then he would finish it.
Escape global music. What are you escaping from?
Elm City, stupid.